Hello everyone, today is April 14th, 2020. How is everybody doing today? This is Barbara Moore for Catch Your Breath 60. And today I'd like to talk about a few things that I saw or that I've noted on Facebook. Most of you know that I'm a Facebook junkie and I'm always on Facebook. Most of my following comes from Facebook, believe it or not, and it's really not from my blog or from anything else but Facebook. And it's a really easy medium. It keeps us going every day. It keeps us busy. It keeps us entertained. But lately I've been reading some posts on Facebook that are kind of disturbing, I find. We are all in the middle of this coronavirus pandemic, and the world is shut down. It's not just your country, it's not just your province, it's not just your state. The entire world is shut down right now. And we are aligning ourselves. We have been, how are you, Larissa? It's nice of you to join us today. So we've all been shut down. In Canada, we shut down on March the 20th, which was probably a little bit late, right? And so I have not seen my grandson since March 17th. Hi, Patricia. Thanks for joining us today. I appreciate you popping in. So we shut down. I haven't seen my grandson since March 17th. And we shut down about March 20th in Canada. And most of Canada, you know, I don't know what it's like where everybody else is, but in Canada, when they say you're shut down, you're shut down. People are getting fines. Hi, Carol. Nice of you to join us today. People are getting fines, are being fined, and families are being fined for being out of their house. Hi, Merlin. And so I don't know where everybody is from, and I know a lot of you are from the States. I'm not sure what's going on in the state, but I believe that it depends on what state you're in. I know that I heard what do they call them? In New Jersey, they said that they weren't opening up anytime soon. Hi, Fred. Nice of you to join us today. Hi, Shirley. So most of us are in lockdown, and we're getting. Hi, Emily. We're getting. I guess we're on about week 3 right now, eh? And everybody's getting kind of antsy, you know. One of the most horrible things is that we're all going through this. Hi, Heather. Hi, Tom. That we're all going through this thing that nobody has been through before. Nobody who is alive right now, or very few of us that are alive right now, have gone through anything that is anything like this pandemic. I know that there was somebody on TV yesterday who was 107, and I thought, oh my God, I'm not sure I really want to live that long. But anyways, he lived through the Spanish pandemic, Spanish flu. But for the majority of us, we haven't seen this. We haven't lived through this. We don't have experience in this. We really don't know what to do about it, right? And for those of us that are sick, or not sick, but for those of us that have chronic illnesses, it means a lot more to us. We know that in Ontario, there has been a draft by the Ontario government saying that if people with chronic illnesses come in with coronavirus and they don't have ventilators, we won't get them. And that's kind of when it hit home to me, and I kind of went, oh my God, this is real, right? This is really something that we might not survive if we get it. And so we have to be really, really careful about, making sure that we're self-distancing, making sure that we're seeing. And I saw Kevin. Thank you for joining us today, Kevin. I saw Kevin had his family over on Easter, and they were all sitting a distance away from each other on the driveway, which I thought was really, really, really good. The weather's staying cool. At least here in Southern Ontario, the weather is staying cool. And that's probably good, because I think if the weather gets too nice too soon, we're going to have a really hard time keeping people in. So it's probably better that the weather's not quite changed yet, right? So I like to watch, I like to be on Facebook, and I tell my husband I invest a good deal of time every day on Facebook. And I've been reading these posts that are saying that if you haven't learned a new language or cleaned the clutter or started a new business and you haven't used this time productively, and they're trying to tell us that we lack discipline. This message is to make everyone feel bad about themselves. And I really take objection to this because I'm asking people to stop buying into this, to stop saying, we have the time and we have the opportunity now to do things like decluttering our house and starting a new business, learning a new language, getting something right. Yeah, so, this is something that we haven't been through before. This is something that we don't have any experience at. And some of us are very, very sick. Some of us we have a normal chronic illness, but some people are not faring well in this pandemic. And people are really, really scared. Hi, Sandra. Thank you for joining us today. I hope that you're feeling a little bit better today. Please stop buying into this because we're all collectively going through trauma, grief, loss, panic, not knowing what's going to happen, and we're maybe getting a little bit paranoid. The first little tickle that you feel in your throat, you think, "Oh my God, this is it. I'm done." Livelihoods have been lost, and loved ones are not able to help each other. We're lonely and we're feeling threatened. We cannot always be productive and fruitful. And I think that this is one of these times where we have to, hi, Natalie, thank you for joining us. Hi, Karen. I think this is one of these times when we have to give ourselves a break, I have been extremely, extremely unproductive. Because I'm an accountant and I do people's books, and that's what time of year it is. And people have let their taxes go a couple of years. And now they have to have their taxes done for the stimulus package, right? And I've been extremely unproductive. I work one day and I take 3 off, and most of the time I'm not writing. I'm not doing anything. I'm sitting in front of a TV and looking for something good to watch on TV. I know that I should be doing other stuff. I know that I have the time to do other stuff. I get that, but really, I don't feel like it. I'm feeling a sense of loss. I have lost I can't touch my children. I can't see my children. I can talk to them and I can FaceTime them every day. And that's really cool. But, there's nothing like the touching and feeling. And that's what I'm used to. We purposely, we didn't move away. My kids all live in the same city as me. And we purposely all stayed here because of this, because we all like to, we're a close-knit family and we like to see each other. So this is really hard on me to not be able to see my grandchildren, not be able to see my son and my daughter. We missed my grandson's birthday. That was March 22nd, when we were right in the cusp of the shutdown, and we made plans to make to celebrate. We'll all celebrate on my daughter's birthday, which is the 22nd of April. And it looks like we won't be doing that either. Then we said, okay, well, let's make a celebration for my birthday, which is April 29th. And we just got word this morning that the country is shut down until May 16th. So none of that is going to happen, right? All of these things, even getting past Easter, and, there was just my husband and I and my oldest son kind of sitting here looking at each other going, well, the Easter Bunny didn't even come to our house. Can you imagine that the Easter Bunny didn't come? We didn't get a chance to get out and get any chocolates. My husband is being vigilant in not going out and not bringing the risk home to me. So, we're all in this state. What we need now is we need more self-compassion. We need acceptance of our emotions and allow them to happen. They're coming at us now at full speed, right? And the reality of what is happening. Oh, isn't that funny, Emily? The reality of what is happening is kind of hitting home. We probably, collectively, the world is not going to open until at least sometime in June. And that's a long way from March, right? When was the last time that this ever happened? It has never happened before. And when did we learn how to experience what is happening now? We haven't learned how to experience it. Nothing is normal, and uncertainty is everywhere. People are losing their jobs. People are losing businesses that they spent years and years growing. And customers are leaving, and people don't have money to spend. And when everything goes back to normal, as we call it, things are going to be drastically different. Parents are struggling now with their kids at home, and the grandparents that are in nursing care are putting their lives are in jeopardy, right? So I feel really, really, really bad for anybody who has parents in a long-term healthcare facility in Ontario. We're having a terrible time with long care facilities. The PSWs that are taking care of the people are dropping like flies, and there is nobody to replace them. And I think that in this crisis, we have come to finally acknowledge those that are important. And it's not the politicians, and it's not the athletes, and it's not the actors and the actresses. It is the healthcare workers and the frontline workers who are the ones who are actually there to keep us alive. We all have health conditions, and we know that we won't survive if we catch Corona-19. So most of us, especially those of us with lung issues, pretty much know that this is the reality, right? And so if you want to hustle through this time and you want to do it, please do. But don't make other people feel bad for not being able to do what you are doing. We can survive this, but in order to do that, we have to keep our mind and our heads on properly, right? And yes, I'm used to staying home too. What is missing is the people that come to me. I'm not normally a person who leaves the house. You know, I have to work at leaving the house 3 times a week. And those are very, very short trips that I take. So it's not me going out of the house that I'm missing. It's those people that leave their houses and come to me. So this morning, last week, we had an order booked for Walmart that apparently all the rules have changed. And even though we order every week from Walmart, every week we order groceries from Walmart, they took my slot and they said, yep, you're out of luck and you can't get any groceries for, another 8 or 10 days. And so my husband had to go out this morning to get groceries. We didn't have anything for Easter, and we didn't have any chocolates. We didn't have any turkey or anything, right? So once he comes home, he's got to strip down at the front door, make sure that his clothes are washed, make sure that everything is washed, make sure that he's showered and everything, right? So it's a big rigmarole, and he had to be up at 6 o'clock this morning in order to get to the store for to get to the store, because our stores are open from 7 to 8 for seniors only, right? And so he thought that would be a really good idea. It turned out it wasn't such a good idea after all, because I guess everybody and their uncle was there, right? Even though it's Tuesday. So we have to learn some self-compassion. And if we're ever going to learn that, this is the time for now. Now is the time to learn compassion, and to be self-compassion is the only thing that we can do right now, because so many of us are alone and by ourselves in our own homes, right? So one of the big things that you can do for learning self-compassion and for being good to yourself is learning pursed-lip breathing. Taking slow, deep breaths, making sure that your head is back, and that if you have a hand on your stomach, and you can feel your stomach going up and down, then you'll know that the breath is deep enough, right? Take slow, steady breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth through pursed lips. Make sure that you're exhaling for longer than you're inhaling. We need to start engaging in positive self-talk. This is really hard for us, and for most of us, it took me years to learn how to do positive self-talk. And it was my daughter, and I talk about my daughter a lot. She's really the catalyst for a lot of the things that I've been through and how I've managed to get from one end to the other. And she often reminds me that negative self-talk serves no purpose, and it doesn't serve any purpose. However, positive self-talk and being positive to ourselves at all times can really help us to get from one state to the next. Being positive is really, really important. Hi, Jeff. Thanks for joining us today. Isn't that great, Kevin? You're not the only guy here today, eh? So engaging in positive self-talk is really important, and I would suggest that you do this once or twice a day, not just once and then forget about it. I would suggest that we do this once or twice a day, maybe even 3 times a day. Let's say during meals, okay? Some positive self-talk about what happened since the last positive self-talk that we had, how well you're managing and how well everybody's doing. Something that I noticed, and I think I said this last week too, of all the cases of a coronavirus and the people that have been hospitalized and intubated and everything, every night on the TV they're telling us how many people have it and how many people are in hospital and how many have been ventilated. None of them have COPD. So this might be our blessing in disguise, because we know how to deal with these sorts of things. We do it every day, right? Washing our hands, making sure that we stay away from people, not being too in people's faces, not engaging with people too much, So those are the things that we've learned with COPD. And we may have been a little bit more vigilant than the rest of the public. Hi, Kat. How are you today? Because of our chronic illness, we may have been a little bit more vigilant in the beginning of this, and that is the very thing that may have saved our lives. You are not responsible for the karma of others. Avoid feeling inappropriate. Don't feel like you are inappropriate because you're not doing what somebody else is doing. Avoid feeling yourself or what others, avoid feeling too much of what yourself and others are going through. Release yourself of that, okay? This is kind of a day-to-day thing that we're going through, and we have been living in kind of a, like Kevin says, a semi-quarantine for many, many years. So this is one of the ways that our chronic illness has actually helped us, because we're always saying, I don't want to hug, I don't want to kiss, I don't want to go near anybody with a cold, right? Visualize good outcomes. We know that we are all going to survive this, and we are all going to come out at the other end of it. It can't last forever. Natalie, I think that what's going to happen, this is my thought on it. I haven't heard this from any professionals or anything, but I think what's going to happen here is that the people who have had coronavirus, who had good lungs, are going to have some scarring and some tissue problems with their lungs after this is over. And I think that you're right, that through this we might find a cure for COPD, or we might find something that works to alleviate some of the symptoms of COPD. So it might not be too bad. So visualize those good outcomes. We never know what's going to come of this, right? Practice self-compassion. Be nice to yourself. You've got to learn to be nice to yourself. It's a funny thing about being nice to yourself and being self-compassionate, that once you start doing that, other people will pick up on it, and they will do the same for you. So be nice to yourself and let other people be nice to you as well. Be compassionate when you're stressed out. Don't play into it too much. Try and ignore those feelings of, gloom and doom. Replace negative thoughts with positive thoughts, and ones that will enhance your well-being. So we know that we have to keep a distance, and that we really shouldn't be out. Even if you're out exercising, you shouldn't be out during this pandemic. And I know that the whole world is shut down. So I feel safe in saying that if you have COPD, and if your immune system is compromised, and this would be not just for COPD, this is for people who have any kind of a chronic illness, anybody who has gone through any cancer treatment, anybody who has gone through anything that has compromised any systems in their body. These are the things we've learned to deal with this, and this is probably why we haven't seen a lot of people with COPD actually succumb to coronavirus. We strongly suspect that's why my father-in-law passed away. My father-in-law passed away on March the 11th, and we strongly suspect that that's what he had, although it was never diagnosed, he was never tested. The more I hear about the symptoms of coronavirus, the more I think that's probably what happened to him. And, it's such a shame that, because he was in a nursing home too. And so it's such a shame that there's so many people that are not being, he didn't count in the statistics. How do you say that, Kevin? So let's talk about the mask and the gloves, okay? Let's talk about the mask and the gloves. So I've sent my husband a couple of times, to the grocery store and stuff like that, and so he takes the gloves. But here's the problem with the gloves. Thank you, Larissa. Here's the problem with the gloves. The gloves are used, once, and then you take them off by putting them inside of each other, and then you dispose of them in the garbage pail. Not on the parking lot ground, not out your window as you're driving home. And if you touch anything, if you're touching groceries in the store, and then you pick out your cell phone because somebody's left you a message, those gloves are no good, because you've just got everything all over your, hi Gwen, you just got everything all over your gloves. So in Canada, we're saying, you know what, forget about the masks and the gloves. The mask really isn't protecting you from anything. And for those of us with COPD, I'm just telling you, I'm just warning you, if you've ever tried to wear a mask, it makes breathing very, very hard. So be careful about going out with the mask, or thinking that you have to wear a mask. I agree with you, Larissa. Larissa says for lay people, gloves cause more infection than they prevent. Just wash your hands. And what they're doing now when you go into the grocery stores is they're sanitizing the carts, and then they're giving them to you. And as you're bringing them back, they're sanitizing them, right? So the carts and that are pretty good, but washing your hands is really the key. So and the masks, a ton of people are making masks. It's all over Facebook. If you go to the marketplace or anything, people are making masks. I really I have one, and I have one of those Vlog masks, and I can't breathe from them. So be careful about thinking that that's going to be the cure to this, because I don't think it's going to work. At least I can't do it right. It is very, very tough to breathe with a mask. So, keep your distance from people. Wash your hands constantly. Yeah, but they're saying that, Aubin, they're saying that the cold isn't killing this virus. It has to be heat. Oh, is that right? Okay, so in New York, in New Jersey, I guess it is, you can't enter a store without a mask. Isn't that interesting? My God, how times have changed. So what has everybody been doing through the coronavirus? What are we doing? Has anybody seen a good movie anywhere? What are you watching on TV? I know, most of us in Canada, and I think in the United States, we all have Netflix. So what are you watching that's really, really good? Is anybody watching a movie that's really good? So in our house, we have Crave, we have Amazon, and we have Netflix, as well as your regular cable. We pay a little bit to watch TV every night, right? So, because we, whatever. And now with no sports on, like it's really tough, right? Because, my husband, he has nothing to watch, right? Extreme Makeover. Yeah, they're always positive stories. That's a great one. That's a great one, right? So what did we watch? We watched a disturbing movie last night called Shutter Island. Yes, the greatest story ever told. It's the greatest story of all time. I do redo. My Brilliant Friends. What was this? My Brilliant Friends series. That sounds great. Unforgotten. NYPD reruns. Outlander. Yeah, Outlander was a good one too. I didn't really get into it, but my husband was watching it. The Wire. I haven't seen that. Ozark on Netflix. Okay, so good suggestions. Great suggestions. What about books? Has anybody read a good book? And please, if you're here today on the line, please say something in the comments. Just say hi in the comments, and then I can give you a shout out. Otherwise, I won't know that you're here. I know that there's 38 people here, but I don't know who you are if you don't tell me, if you don't at least say hi. I wish I was going to watch Tiger King, but I'm really glad I haven't. It's not something that I want to watch right now. Oh, Diane, that's great. You go to YouTube to pick out movies. That's great. The Invisible Man. Hallmark movies. Well, Hallmark movies are great, right? And you might have noticed that they're doing a lot of replays of Christmas movies because, they've always got positive outcomes, right? Keto recipes, my reading of this week. So keto, be careful of keto. If you get into it too much, sometimes you get some hair loss. That's what I heard. Oh, Noah Greenspan's book. That's a great one. Great information for COPD. It's a wonderful book. Darling Rose, Beverly Under Gold. That sounds good. Oh, that's interesting, Elaine. So who's read a good book? Has anybody read a good book? Aladdin. Oh yeah, that's a good one. Hi Marion. Hi Helen. Good to hear from you guys this week. I'm so glad that you popped in. The Secret. Has anybody seen the movie The Secret? It's an excellent movie. Very, very positive outcomes, right? Not sure that I buy into all of it, but some of it's really good. And Kevin's reading anything by Lee Child. What kind of books does Lee Child write? I'm not up on my authors like Kevin is, but so Carol, can you put down where you get your books from so that people can get some more books and some free books or some that you pay for? I go to BookBub. I go to BookBub. Oh, okay. Mystery books, eh? Jack Reacher books. I watched that movie the other night on Jack Reacher on Netflix. I really don't like Tom Cruise. I cannot stand the guy, Tom Cruise. He drives me nuts. It was a really, really good movie, but I can't stand Tom Cruise, and I kept that kind of distracted me. Oh, Jack Reacher is Lee Child's, eh? Okay. It was a good movie. It was a good movie. It's just too bad that he was in it. Our public libraries are closed, aren't they, Emily? No, book bub, not bug. Book bub, B-U-B. If anybody would like, yeah, I don't like him. I don't like him. Ever since, him and his wife, right? Yeah, I agree with you. He just thinks he does everything right. Well, you know what, Gwen? You should get it for now if you want to cancel it later. And it's Netflix, Flix. But you should try and get it now, just to kind of keep yourself busy while you're all alone and at home, right? Um, yeah, that's it, Heather. That's exactly it, right? Jack Reacher, yes, there is. Yes, there is something where it's not Tom Cruise. I can't stand him. I just can't stand him. I can't stand to watch it. But we weren't going to watch it, and then I said, well, there's nothing else on, right? So, but Gwen, you should get Netflix just for a couple of months. I think it's 17.99 in Canada per month, and it's well worth it. You can get it either that or get Amazon Prime. Oh, HGTV is great. Yes, it is. And believe me when I tell you that anything that you miss on HGTV, it loops around again, so you'll always get it right. You don't have to PVR them, you don't have to tape them or anything, right? It's pretty interesting. But there's another. I don't know if are you, Aubin, where are you? Are you in Canada? We have another TV show. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. There's another one called Tubi, Tubi, and that's a free download. You can stream anything from there. And what is Below Deck series? What is that? Oh, you're in Ottawa. Okay. So Channel 55 is another one. There's another one that is home and garden kind of thing, right? Oh, that's a good book, Tom. That's a really good book. Red Badge of Courage. So I hope that everybody continues to self-isolate. And because if everybody doesn't do their part here, this is going to last forever. It has the potential to be, forever, which is not something that, no matter what country you're in or no matter what your situation is, nobody wants it to be forever. So I'm hoping that people will continue to self-isolate, to use good judgment in not allowing, people to come to you and that sort of thing, right? And please practice some self-compassion this week. So if anybody would like to post anything that they're doing on my page for self-compassion, I would really, really, really love to hear it. This is Barbara Moore signing off for Catch Your Breath 60. Thank you for joining us here at Tea Time Tuesday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. My heart and my soul is going out to everybody, and you're in my prayers every night. I know that we're going to beat this. We're going to get through it. And in the end, we're all going to still be here. Thank you for joining us today.